So, Minister Tharman, how replicable is the Singapore model for a country like Ghana? Because we know that a lot of what is behind your success has not just been institutional, but also cultural. So, and we have a different political system here than you have there. How optimistic should our Ghanaian listeners be about the possibility that we can emulate some of the things Minister of Finance spoke about?
Well, that's a good question, because no nation is the same as another. And yet nations have found it very useful to learn from each other. Singapore, by the way, is a classic case. As I was explaining to Minister, there's very little that Singapore has done that's invented in Singapore, or unique to Singapore. We have constantly looked around the world for best practices in education, in healthcare, in our economic strategies, in pension systems. We keep looking around the world and then adapting it to our own needs, not replicating, not literally imitating, but adapting it. And that's what has made Singapore. We've got to have a national core, and that national core in Singapore is about always thinking about the interests of people as a whole, rather than the interests of individual businesses or individual groups of people. Think of the interests of the people as a whole, and thinking long-term rather than short-term. And that national core is infused in all our institutions. If you like, you can call it a culture. Never being captured or too influenced by one or two people, but always thinking of the interests of the majority of our people and thinking of the interests of the people long-term rather than short-term. But apart from that basic core culture, our practices, our institutions, our policies are constantly evolving, and we find it very useful to learn from abroad. And I do think, from my conversation with Minister Ofori Atta and our observations of Ghana, that there's significant scope for us to share our experience with Ghana and to be on a journey together.